Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III, and today I'm doing a paid review for Mick. Hi Archie, love the video you posted Christmas Eve on my updated watch collection. He's asking me, I posed the question, how much were used Rolex prices affected in the financial turmoil, early 2000s and the GFC 2007. Luxury cars drop like a stone. Okay, let's have a talk about that. What happens now we're looking at very uncertain times, and it's true. It is very, very true. Mick raises some good points there. Look, the prices are, we're heading to uncertainty. We've got problems in China. China's got major problems. The watch industry itself, talking to people, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, a lot of dealers have got stock and there's not a lot of clients. So we're talking hard times. The best advice I can give you is Patek and Rolex. Patek and Rolex. They tend to be really good brands that hold. They're like the blue chip investment. Look, what happens, the interesting thing is, I was very surprised in the GFC where I thought there'd be bargains. I said to a major dealer friend of mine, I said, hey, get me a President for $8,000, get me an 18238, and that never happened. That never happened. And I think in economic turmoil, what happens is watches are slower to move. So if you go to a dealer, if you're pushed for funds and you're desperate and you say, hey, cash me out, they will rip you a third arsehole. But if normally what happens is in uncertainty, watches are harder they don't move as fast. So as long as you can afford to hold, you should be pretty well all right. I would say, look, Rolex is very blue chip. Steel sports watches is very much Rolex that's the blue chip investments. Anything new, gold or two-tone, there is a bit of drop, but if you're buying used, there's some good buys there. I would say myself, Omega Sports is also very, very hotly contested. Some of these other brands can be very, very terminal, like things like Bulgari, Bell & Ross, Brumont. Those are very, very soft, big losses. But if you stick with Rolex, Patek, APs, you're not going to be that terrible. It's not going to be so bad. Rolex is probably the most commoditized type item in the world, and even when things are very tight, there's always someone who wants a Submariner. So I would say, look, in times of uncertainty there, Omega Steel Sports, Rolex Steel Sports, that's your blue chips. The only problem with Pateks is, I got to be completely honest with you, I think in recent times they have released too many new models, which is going to hurt. So in countries like China, where what's happened is you've got the stock market is frozen for big investors, they've had anti-corruption tightening up on things, and I think what the real answer is there is that you've got to really be sensible. If you're going to need money quickly, you'll get shafted. But if you're going to hold out, prices aren't too bad. Stay with Rolex, Omega's, Steel Sports Omega, Steel Sports Rolex. Pateks, the problem with Pateks is they're so fucking expensive that I'm not so certain on them. And Patek has released so many complications lately, I'm a bit worried. Pateks themselves generally hold out. They're always a hard sale. They're not an easy sell. But sports Rolex or sports, a Datejust, steel Datejust with a white gold bezel sapphire, that'll always sell, always sell. So I really think myself the lesser brands, the boutique brands, they suffer a lot. Brands like Breguet, some Vacheron models would suffer a fair bit. And basically, you've got, what happens is when an economic disaster happens, the market slows down. So it's not as readily to get your money back on pieces. If you hold out, it's a lot longer to get the customer in because the customers do dry up. But Rolex, steel Rolex Sports, steel Rolex Omega, I think those are the key. And sexy things always sell, like a Reverso Grand, they always sell. So good things sell, harder things can prove problematic, and I think that's the key. Talking about gold Rolex as well, they never really, there was no bargains after the GFC. I wanted a cheap 18238 double quickset President. I said, oh, get me one, 8 or 9 grand. No. They weren't available. So I kind of think your best advice is with turbulent times, Rolex Steel Sports, Omega Steel Sports, those two brands and genres are blue chip. I'm ArchieLuxury discussing the impending recession we're going to have in 2016. Tell me what you nasty vicious fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great vid.